seat and make it comfortable. Thank you. All right, let's start. Colleagues, good morning, and thank you very much for attending the briefing. My name is Nhlanhla, Office of the Premier, Gauteng. I'm not going to waste any more time, but hand over to the Premier to take us through the media briefing. Premier, over to you.
Thank you so much, Elijah. I thought but I think we can do that later. It's okay. Impressive and they Could I use it? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take this opportunity to acknowledge the presence of the acting HOD of the Department of Community Safety, Mr. Mkhwanazi, and the entire team that represent various components of the force that will make announcement later on in the statement. I would like to welcome you to this media briefing, responding to the operational repositioning of the traffic wardens. This will assist in clarifying the lingering misunderstanding regarding their legitimacy and giving an update on their current training pathway to prepare them for their full integration into the province law enforcement framework. The introduction of the traffic wardens in our province have assisted us in fighting crime in various aspects, in particular visible policing in the CBDs. Their presence has also assisted us in sporting events, notably big events including concerts, as well as in tracing and tracking those that are selling drugs in our communities, and also retrieving stolen vehicles and ammunition that has been in some of the operations that they have executed. We are doing this understanding that the Gauteng province is the engine of the South African economy and the continent's regional economy as well. And that crime has been a major threat in ensuring that we protect not only our citizens, those that are coming to our province for purpose of terrorism or investment. This unit has also assisted us in ensuring that gated townships, informal settlements and hostels are protected as they became the epicenters for this sophisticated crime in our province. This complex criminal network terrorizes our communities and systematically exhausts the already scarce resources of our law enforcement agencies. This situation has sometimes led to dangerous proliferation of vigilante groups in our communities, which exacerbate the cycle of violence and undermines the rule of law. It has also been worsened by a critical police-to-citizen ratio of 1 policeman for every 358 residents, which is far below the United Nations recommended standard of 1 police officer for every 250 residents, leading to poor visibility and slow response time in high crime areas. Confronted by this reality, the Gauteng Provincial Government has moved beyond simply funding this trained system to actively building a resilient, multi-layered support network that is rooted in proven framework for cooperative governance. Based on a comprehensive strategy, the integrated crime and violence prevention strategy, the Gauteng approach to safety moved beyond just policing. It proactively tackled the root causes of crime through partnerships between government departments, law enforcement agencies, and our communities. This model focuses on prevention, social programs, and community involvement to sustainably reduce crime and improve resident lives. This provincial approach is consistent with South Africa's post-1994 policing philosophy, which transformed the service into a community-oriented function that prioritizes partnerships. Our approach is explicitly supported by the strategies, including the National Crime Prevention Strategy of 1996, the Integrated Social Crime Prevention Strategy of 2021, the National Development Plan 2030, and the draft white paper on security 2016, all of which champion an integrated multi-stakeholder approach to safety. In the past years, this philosophy has been implemented through the significant tangible support that the Gauteng Provincial Government gave to the South African Police as part of our response and resourcing of the SAPS to execute their responsibilities. In this regard, the government that I had the honor to lead donated 3 helicopters to the SAPS and 700 new motor vehicles so that the South African police force can be strengthened. We also went beyond that and connected 12,000 new CCTV cameras across all our communities in urban areas, townships, informal settlements, and hospitals, a first in terms of crime prevention in our communities. And cameras have assisted us in providing the necessary evidence needed by law enforcement agencies to crack critical cases. On top of that, we made available 5 mobile incident command centers so that they can coordinate and respond to crime as it is reported by our citizens. We also introduced e-policing drones that are assigned to very difficult areas that need policing, especially areas like Zamazama, that is illegal mining, or informal settlement where normal vehicles can't go through. We've done everything within our powers to move the province towards a cashless transaction, to minimize cash heists, business robberies, and ATM bombings, by encouraging various business sectors to migrate to cashless business. In this regard, all our major hospitality institutions are now cashless. We've just finalized an agreement with the taxi industry that will also migrate to a cashless environment. We are of the strong view, if you minimize cash, you minimize cash heist, you minimize business robberies, you minimize ATM bombings. We are at the final stage of introducing a tamper-proof number plates, as vehicles are at the center of violent crimes, hijackings, and rented killings. A formal agreement for cross-border law enforcement cooperation between ourselves, the SAPS, and all our municipalities have been finalized, bringing us to be the first province where each and every municipality can assist and reinforce another municipality in case of serious violent crimes. So the introduction of the Gauteng traffic wardens was the cornerstone of this collaboration strategy. This initiative was designed to strengthen support for the police so that we can free them to focus on serious crimes while the wardens enhance visible policing and build the positive daily interactions with our communities. The rollout of the traffic wardens has followed a meticulous, legally compliant sequence to ensure professionalism and accountability. The Gauteng Provincial Government can create these traffic roads because the Constitution and the National Traffic Act 93 of 1996 give the provinces the powers to do so. To grant this traffic wardens legal authority, the provincial government invoked Section 334 of the Criminal Procedure Act, and this section authorizes the Minister of Justice to designate specific officials as peace officers. Justice and Correctional Services to appoint the crime prevention wardens as peace officers in line with this act. The Minister then established an interministerial committee to examine the legislative framework. This committee consisted of myself and the former MEC of Community Safety, then Faith Mazibuko, the then Minister of Justice, Nhlanhla, as well as the then Minister of Police, Gauteng. The committee determined that for the wardens to obtain peace officers' powers, the province must follow the existing route used for provincial traffic appointment, as it already had legislative power to do so. Notably, the wardens are trained in line with the National Road Traffic Act and not the South African Police Act. The designation was formally pronounced in December 2023. This legal classification gave the wardens the same legal standing as Gauteng traffic officers, pending the completion of their training. As the support unit, the Gauteng traffic wardens are designed to strengthen the efforts of existing law enforcement authorities. They are peace officers with specific authority under the CPA Act and were never meant to replace the National Police Service. Should I use that? As a support unit, the wardens are designed to strengthen the efforts of existing law enforcement authorities. They are peace officers with specific authority under the CPA and were never meant to replace the National Police Service. Instead, they assist law enforcement in preventing crime and enforcing laws. The program is legal because it uses provincial wardens to assist national police, thereby strengthening enforcement without overstepping their constitutional authority. Even prior to their legal designation, candidates wardens proactively began training with various law enforcement agencies, including the Gauteng Traffic Police, the Metro Police Department, and the South African National Defence Force. To date, the effort has resulted in significant upskilling of these wardens. To enhance professionalism and service delivery, approximately 8,800 traffic wardens from the 5 corridors have completed a multifaceted training program covering critical areas such as criminal law, evidence law, personnel ethics, the prevention of brutality, firearm training, and the service of protection orders. Following their peace officer designation, which gave traffic wardens the same legal standing as Gauteng traffic officers, it was necessary to now reconfigure their training and develop new procedures to integrate them into the provincial law enforcement framework. In response to this new reconfiguration, during my tabling of the budget of the department on the 31st of July, we made an announcement that the wardens will now migrate to become Gauteng traffic officers. To ensure a smooth and fair transition, the Department of Community Safety has been reviewing and conducting assessments to determine who amongst the wardens meets this criterion needed for the traffic officer training program. The department has also been fielding numerous requests from various government entities interested in absorbing some of the wardens in their organization. Arrangements are already underway to place some of the wardens within the entities such as the border management agencies and several municipalities. We are indeed excited with a partnership with the border management agencies that have taken almost 100 of these wardens to be trained in terms of managing the entry points in our country as part of the preparation for the G20 and beyond. We are determined to ensure that no one will be left behind as we move forward with this crucial process. Since then, the Department of Community Safety has partnered with 13 traffic colleges to offer the NQF Level 4 Traffic Officer course, and a subsequent capacity assessment has been determined by the Road Traffic Management Corporation, RTMC, which will now training for the next 18 to 36 months so that they can qualify to be part of the Gauteng Traffic Police. Those who can qualify for this training will be assigned to various municipalities for by-law enforcement or the provision of security services in various government departments after acquiring the necessary training. We do so because we really believe that what they are doing has demonstrated that is needed in our communities. We just have to eliminate areas of deep concern, which is their training, their mandate, and their qualification. After going through this process now, we really believe we would have eliminated these concerns, and there will now be a fully fledged unit that will assist us to fight crime in our province. As a Gauteng government, we want to focus on tackling crime rather than spending time squabbling about the mandate and legitimacy or getting caught within the factional battles of law enforcement agencies in our country. The recent crime stats of Gauteng are an affirmation that our collective efforts to fight crime are turning the tide against crime, with a 7.9 crime reduction in the last quarter statistics and a 25% reduction in road fatalities during the last festive season. This is the area we want to invest our resources and our time, rather than argue on the mandate of the law enforcement agencies. With this new reconfigured approach, with this new training regime, with this new legal mandate, we are of the view that we have now closed this debate. We will now have a new force that will supplement the law enforcement agencies with the necessary legitimacy, the necessary training, and the necessary support from all law enforcement agencies. We now call upon law enforcement agencies to focus on the task at hand and avoid the squabbling and the differences that we had. We will continue to engage with the National Minister of Police, the Minister of Justice, and all other relevant agencies, the NPA, and institutions that will assist us to reaffirm this new stand that we are taking as the provincial government. We'll also release resources for training and also the capacitation of the new mandate that will be given to our crime officers. We held a meeting with these officers on the 20th of June 2024 to outline this new role that they need to take. We are quite convinced with this new role, crime prevention will become a reality in our province. So the escalating threat facing our province from criminal elements demands a decisive break from outdated methodologies. The challenges before us are too complex for any single agency to think that they can resolve crime alone. The recent regrettable public discord between the SAPS and JMPD in Pegasdal underscored the critical need for a formalized cooperation agreement, which is designed specifically to eliminate such operational friction by fostering seamless collaboration, clear communication channels, and a united command structure between the Gauteng Provincial Government, the SAPS, and municipal police to ensure effective, cohesive law enforcement service delivery for all our residents. We call on all law enforcement agencies to unite in the face of a united and well-coordinated criminals. The Gauteng Provincial Government reaffirms its commitment to this professional, accountable, and integrated approach to fight crime in our province. We are championing a fundamental shift from isolated enforcement to integrated safety and the methodical rollout of the Gauteng traffic wardens will ensure that they work with partnership of all security structures in our country. Sustaining the downward trend in crime is a central goal for the Gauteng Provincial Government, with least crime fighting amongst its G13 priorities. To maintain this progress, the province is focusing on using traffic wardens more strategically and improving their capabilities. As I conclude, we just want to make an announcement that in line with integrated crime and violence prevention strategy that pushes for a proactive approach in tackling the root causes of crime through partnership, we are launching a full-scale pushback against the devastating scourge of substance abuse across all 5 provincial corridors on the 27th October 2025. We are mobilizing every government resource to wage a campaign against crisis that is stealing generations. We are convinced what is happening in our communities now of gangsterism, children killing each other, it's nothing else but the scourge of crime and drugs in particular. What happened in Westbury yesterday is not only shocking, it's completely unacceptable. That school-going age people can start to shoot at each other and commit this crime. The easy availability of weapons or guns is a demonstration that we need to tackle this matter head-on rather than squabble amongst ourselves and exposing our differences. I've been briefed by the law enforcement agencies in our province that the gangsters that was responsible for this act, they will be apprehended soon. I've given the necessary authorization needed to ensure that we don't have a repeat of this incident. Thank you so much. Truly appreciate it.
By as well. But also on the issue of MPD, SP Assembly it is mentioned the West End. That or for it and drug syndicates at that level. Do you still believe that there's still a need for that? Thank you.
Secondly, we have piecemeal arrangements. When in December we were designated to be peace officers, almost 400 of our wardens were given certificates to be peace wardens. And immediately after that, it was stopped, which simply means we have others that are peace wardens, others are not peace ward officers within the same unit. Thirdly, there has been exchange of correspondence from the National Commissioner of Police, the Provincial Commissioner of Police, citing limitations on the work and functions of the traffic wardens. And I convened the team and said, I don't want to operate in this environment, because to fight crime, if you lose legitimacy, then there's no impact that will make. If we feel the unit is either under-resourced, is under-trained, is not recognized, it really places us in the hands of criminals. So we have a provincial unit as a province. That's what we see the main unit. This is our unit that is legitimate, that has constitutional mandate. Why migrate the wardens in this unit that is doing the work already, rather than act with people on the legitimacy and others? So today we are announcing that they will cease to function in that format and be trained when this unit, which is still under the control of the provincial government. But to do so, they have to go to extensive training. Because for them to be part of this unit, they have to go to between 18 to 3 years training. And we are starting that process. That is why their seizure to exist will be done in phases. It does not mean that when you get out here, we don't see them outside. You still see them. Until they've gone through all the necessary training, purely because what they're doing is not illegal. It's just that we are reconfiguring them and are taking them into a unit that is vigorous. Because we've seen they play a very important role. The mere fact that they can retrieve guns when they're not armed, you'll never get that kind of thing. The mere fact that they've arrested freedom tractors without the necessary training in that aspect, it shows their commitment. And the mere fact that out of the 8,800 that they've trained, only 300 that have left the force in the last 3 years, in terms of either sickness or getting promotion or being absorbed by other security companies or resigning or through death, you know. So it's a force that we really believe is important and can take us forward. We are of the view that we need new creative methods to fight crime in our province. A one-dimensional approach is not going to assist us. And that is why we've made all municipalities to sign an agreement to work with us. And what you are referring to in Western, it's unfortunate. I've raised that with the Provincial Commissioner. I've raised that with the MMC, Johannesburg, that this is